When you think of David Coverdale, Whitesnake probably jumps to mind, or if you're a bit older, maybe Deep Purple. But what if I say one of his greatest songs, maybe his greatest song, wasn't originally with either of those two giant bands? Today we're rewinding to 1977 and uncovering a performance so raw and bluesy and heartfelt that it deserves to stand amongst the very best moments of David Coverdale's career. I'm Paul Stephenson from VRP Rocks, and this is Rock Under the Radar, the series that shines a light on songs that have been forgotten, overlooked, or just buried under bigger hits in a band's catalogue. And today's choice is special. Special for me because it's David Coverdale. I'll admit he is one of my favourite singers of all time. He sometimes gets crudely lumped into the screeching hair metal bracket by many, especially in the US. But for me, his bluesy voice with that feeling, the depth, it's just phenomenal. And my pick is a track that is the sound of a man finding himself again. So, let's set the scene. In the early 1970s, Deep Purple were one of the biggest rock bands around, but they began falling apart. Ian Gillan split, and then a then unknown David Coverdale was brought in. Despite the gold-certified album Burn, their fortunes waned, and in the middle of the decade, well, Ritchie Blackmore had left. When Deep Purple finally collapsed in March of 1976, Coverdale was devastated. In interviews, he admitted he was left questioning his future, even considering quitting music altogether. It would be just 2 years after this split from Purple that Whitesnake would come together. But in that void space, Coverdale decided to go back to the music that first inspired him. These solo recordings weren't successful. Perhaps the choice of blues at a time when the UK was gripped by punk fever was never going to land successfully. His first solo album was a commercial flop. It didn't chart, but it did inspire the name of a band that would go on to make him a superstar again. Whitesnake. Two separate words on this occasion. Coverdale has said in later interviews that it's hard to talk sensibly about those early solo releases, as they were very inward-looking, reflective and low-key in many ways, written and recorded as it was in the aftermath of the collapse of Deep Purple. But despite this, on that record was a song that to my ears is the real start of David Coverdale as an artist. He's credited as the lone writer on this track, and his vocals are as raw and passionate as any he would ever commit to tape. I can't play the full track for you here because of the way that channels on this platform are monitored, but for more info, check out the video link in the pinned comment below. And speaking of which, I've loved your feedback to the first couple of videos in this series. Some great debate has stirred again, so please do leave your thoughts on today's song in the comments section. Have you heard of it? Had you heard of it? This version in particular, is it new to you? What do you think of it? If you've not heard it yet, then please do wait to get to the end of this video, go away, listen to it, come back and let me know. So, the song then, and today's Rock Under the Radar track is David Coverdale's Blind Man. And before anybody shouts, yes, Blind Man was later re-recorded by Whitesnake. It appeared on their 1980 album Ready and Willing, but for me, the raw edge of the original sounds much more authentic and heartfelt, less polished. And to show how far under the radar it is, even the Whitesnake version on Spotify is 43rd on the list of their most played songs. It's way down low. So, if you're new to this, the original version of Blind Man begins as a slow blues rock lament that builds mood and atmosphere. Mickey Moody is on guitar, long before he and Bernie got together to create that classic Whitesnake sound. Simon Phillips, who I've interviewed a few times here on the channel, and you can check out all his stories on VRP Rocks. Well, he's a man who's played with everyone from Jeff Beck to Judas Priest. He appears on the drums on this record too. And then there's Coverdale. His voice here isn't the roaring arena beast of Still of the Night. It's a younger, more vulnerable sound. You can almost hear him exercising his doubts and fears after Deep Purple's collapse. Now, in terms of that rawness, you can hear it displayed perfectly when comparing the two versions, the original solo version and the later Whitesnake copy, especially about 2 minutes 10 into the song when he sings the line, "Cross the water, the sun is shining." Here you can hear him reaching up with his bluesy cry. It's real and raw, but the re-recorded version just a couple of years later is more polished, more restrained maybe. You can hear those rough edges are smoothed out, the grit is gone. It feels like a professional rock band delivering a solid performance, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Many will prefer it, no doubt. But it's no longer the sound of a man pouring his heart out in the studio. Now remember, this isn't the golden-throated crooner from the MTV era. This is a young man who sounds like he's been through the ringer. There are cracks in his voice, there's strain, but that's exactly what makes it so powerful. You believe every word. And by the end, when he repeats that chorus, it feels less like a lyric and more like a confession. You could say that the solo version bleeds emotion, whereas the Whitesnake edit is just a song. And for me, that's one of the reasons why the solo version really stands out, and it is the reason why it's one of my favourite songs from Coverdale's long career. So here's my question to you. What's your thoughts on this original version of Blind Man? Let me know below. Do you prefer the solo original version or the Whitesnake re-recording? Do you like it at all? Have you ever heard it before? Is it new to you? Please do let me know. And if you've enjoyed this, check out the rest of my channel. There's other episodes of Rock Under the Radar on there and more coming your way. Plus, I've interviewed nearly 200 classic rock stars with hundreds of videos for you to see on there too. So hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.